Policy reforms tackling government information secrecy and covert actions. Learn about key policy reforms addressing government secrecy around covert actions and the struggle for transparency versus confidentiality. Policy reforms addressing government secrecy and covert actions. You know, one of the things we often hear about but rarely get to fully understand is just how much government information stays hidden from the public's eye, especially when it comes to covert actions, those secret operations that governments carry out behind the scenes. It's like there's this whole world hidden under layers of government classified information and strict government confidentiality protocols. So, why does this secrecy exist in the first place, and what are people doing about it? That's what I want to talk about today. There have been some big conversations and actual policy reforms aimed at addressing the balance between keeping things secret and ensuring the public isn't left completely in the dark. Because let's be honest, government information secrecy can sometimes go too far, breeding mistrust and suspicion. Covert operations historically have covered everything from espionage to more controversial interventions in foreign countries, sometimes with the public only learning about them decades later. The challenge is, governments argue, if everything was out in the open, those operations wouldn't work. And from a national security standpoint, that's a fair argument. But at the same time, unchecked government document secrecy means citizens are left unaware of real government choices that might affect their lives or the ethics of those actions. Increased oversight. One of the main policy reforms focuses on improving oversight mechanisms. This means intelligence committees in Congress are gaining more authority and clearer access to classified programs, aiming to prevent unauthorized or unethical activities hidden under the veil of secrecy. Clearer declassification processes. Another reform is about speeding up the process that determines when formerly secret materials should be released. The goal is to reduce the backlog of government secret policies that have little reason to stay hidden anymore, but remain under lock and key for decades. Balancing transparency and security. New guidelines are being proposed and sometimes enacted to strike that delicate balance. This includes more precise definitions of what truly requires secrecy and what can be disclosed without jeopardizing operations or personnel. What's interesting is that all these steps don't just reduce blind spots for the public. They also help governments avoid major scandals by promoting accountability before things get out of hand. You've probably heard about whistleblower cases where leaks revealed troubling secrets. Addressing government transparency issues up front can make those leaks less necessary. Speaking of which, if you find these themes fascinating, there's a book that mixes this kind of secretive, behind-the-scenes government drama with some thrilling psychological twists. It's called Hush, a psychological thriller of alien manipulation and deep state deceit. It's a wild ride through shadowy government secret policies and mind-bending narrative that you won't see coming. You can buy Hush now in ebook, print, or audio. Perfect for anyone who wants an entertaining yet thought-provoking story about what lurks behind closed doors in government circles. So yeah, while government secrecy is complicated and often frustrating for those of us who want transparency, these reforms show there's a genuine effort to do better. It's a tricky balancing act between protecting sensitive information and making sure power isn't abused under the cover of darkness. Knowing about these reforms helps us all stay informed and maybe a little less suspicious about what goes on behind the curtain.